Now, Germany has joined a growing list of countries to impose mandatory COVID tests on travellers from China, which is currently facing a surge in infections. The German health minister said there will also be random checks upon entry for any coronavirus variants. And he also announced the expanded monitoring of wastewater from arriving planes for the virus. Now, this comes a day after the European Union urged member states to impose restrictions on visitors from China. EU recommendations include pre-departure COVID tests and face masks on flights to and from China. Beijing has threatened countermeasures against countries imposing such restrictions. And we can get more from DW's Brussels bureau chief, Alexandra von Namen. Alexandra, first Italy and France, now Germany as well, making tests a requirement for arrivals from China. Is it likely that other EU states will follow suit?
Well, I think it is quite likely that other EU states will heed the recommendation and also move to impose mandatory pre-departure testing or random checks upon arrival. Germany has just announced that. Belgium did it yesterday. And it is what really makes sense, according to experts who are saying that it is important to have a coordinated approach within the European Union, within the Schengen area, where you do not have any internal border controls, because, of course, if you have a fragmented response, travelers from China could say, all right, if we need a negative COVID test to enter Italy, for instance, then we go to another European nation, and where we don't need a negative test, and travel on from there to Italy. So what is needed, experts are saying, is a coordinated approach.
So these EU nations imposing these restrictions, what are they most worried about?
Well, I think that the main reason for their concern is the mistrust in the data that China is sharing. China was withholding important information at the beginning of the pandemic, and critics are saying that is exactly what is happening right now. So they fear that China might be covering up COVID cases and the real death toll. We know that hospitals and funeral homes in China are overwhelmed, and still, according to official data, China has one of the lowest death toll in the world, even though, according to estimates, up to 9,000 people might be dying every day from COVID in China. And even experts with the World Health Organization are saying China needs to be more transparent and more forthcoming with sharing data that other nations can rely on.
DW's Alexandra von Namen will have to leave it there, but thank you so much.